G'day, this is Captainoob, and this is an automatic rifle. A little bit of a throwback to the Dead Money DLC from Fallout New Vegas, where the automatic rifle first entered the Fallout franchise. This mod offers you a powerful endgame LMG type weapon with custom sounds and reload animations to go along with it, as well as a lot of attachments for you to customize it in a variety of ways to fit a different number of roles, which is really good. This thing is based off a Colt monitor, which is an improved version of the original Browning Bar M1918. Namely, it's got this pistol grip here, which helps with accuracy and probably a little bit more comfortable than sitting in a rifle grip all day, so isn't that nice? This automatic rifle does require the munitions mod to operate because it fires these 3006 rounds, which like around the same size as 308 rounds, but they've got a little bit more powder behind them. They're longer cartridges, so you get more recoil for like a tiny little bit more range. I read that on the internet, so it must be true. So there's that. That's a requirement, but I think we'll go into the attachments. First of all, we've got the receivers, and this thing, it's always going to be automatic. There's also options for rapid receivers here if you want to make it fire faster, so that might be something if you feel like this thing is dealing damage a little bit too slow. There's this powerful receiver down here that's going to do the most damage per bullet, but if you want it to be a little bit faster, you can offset the damage for a little bit more of a fire rate here with the hardened rapid receiver. There's also a piercing version of that as well, but honestly, 150 damage is going to pierce through just fine, I think. So we'll go for a powerful receiver on this one, and then we'll move on to the barrels. We've got a long barrel, you can have a shorter barrel, make it slightly better, and that's also lighten the weight of the rifle a little bit. You can have a finned version, which is going to help with recoil or something, and a support barrel adds a bipod, so we're going to throw that one on because we're throwing back to Dead Money, damn it, with a little bit of a caveat, of course. We'll get to that in a little bit, but for the stocks, there's a full stock version with tape on it. There's a gunslinger stock, which I believe is I have a couple of rounds sitting on the side of the stock there. No, it's got a pouch, probably with some loose cartridges you can load in whenever you feel like it. There's also a recoil compensating stock, which compensates your recoil by using a spongier type of wood. Yes. Oh, this marksman stock here, which will decrease your accuracy in comparison to a recoil compensating, but says superior recoil, and it's got that cheek rest too, so I think we'll throw that one on. And for the magazines, we've got standard quick eject versions of those, large and extra large versions with a quick eject variant of those as well. We'll throw that one on because more sustained fire, good for combat and extended firefights. Now for the sights, we're going to do something a little bit different here. We're going to make this one full sniper status, but there's also glow sights here if you want to keep the iron sight look on this thing, which, you know, there's merit on doing that. Why not? There's also a laser sight here if you don't like using the iron sights at all. Holographics, reflexes for better optimization using that. Short scopes, medium scopes, and long scopes, and night vision scopes, including a recon scope, which looks like that. That's a cool asset, but let's just go for a standard medium scope here. Might be crazy, but don't you worry, there's method to my madness. We'll get to that in a second. Next, we've got the muzzles. You can have a bayonet, which will decrease your range. Okay. Well, that's just a holdover from a vanilla game balancing, so I won't hold that against them. A flash hider will increase your range a little bit by adding a little bit of a extra bit on the end of your barrel. I'm not actually sure how that might increase your range. It's only a small amount, but there you go. If you feel like the recoil is too strong, you can add compensators, including this one. That's a heavy compensator. That'll increase your accuracy by a substantial amount. So if you want to hold the trigger down on this thing, you might consider using that to control your recoil. There's a muzzle booster, which will increase the rate of fire, which is going to be a particularly potent attachment for this thing because, well, you're going to increase your DPS by a lot, although it will give you, actually it will make your AP cost better. I would have thought that'd be penalizing you, but it's going to be even better using INVATs now, which is going to make it great. There's also muzzle brake, that's another recoil control device, and a heavy version of that appears to be a lot better than your, well, they got that right, that is definitely heavy, that is massive, that's like a Barrett compensator or a muzzle brake, but it appears to be a superior version to the compensator. And of course, there's a suppressor down here. It will reduce your range, but increases your accuracy. That's nice. We've also got Ace Operator working for us, giving us a little bit of extra damage as well, which is nice. Legendary effect provided by Legendary Modification. Skip. Now, here's where it gets kind of interesting, because you've got a bunch of these extraneous little attachments you can attach on that'll make it do different things. So we've got a makeshift carry handle and a standard carry handle here, which will make it lighter, because it's easy to carry, you understand. So I actually like that idea. I don't know if I'd mentioned something like that before, if that's just a thought that's popped up in my mind that I haven't spoken about before. But having this little carry handle giving you a little bit of a weight, not a penalty. What's the opposite of penalty? You know, the opposite of penalty, giving you a little bit of a bonus to your carry weight whilst using this thing. I love that idea. There's also a light carry handle, which will decrease that or increase that weight thing even more. Your weight bonus. There's also a flashlight here if you want to use it during the dark, or if you've got one of those super dark night mods that'll make it easy to run around in the dark with it. There's also a heat shield here. Improves your accuracy whilst aiming down sights. So there's plenty of different attachments here and lots of different interesting choices to make. I actually really like this attachment. It's probably my favorite from the bunch because we don't really see that all that often. Since we're using this thing in a scope, we're going to add on the heat shield, but there's definitely lots of merit to be using these carry handles, particularly if you are playing on a survival difficulty where you got to be extra conscious about your maximum carry weight and how much you want to be carrying around, which is great. And I believe other than this, we've got stock, so you can have a plastic stock there. This will make it nice and dark, so a proper sniper status automatic rifle here. But if you want to keep the original look of the Colt monitor as it is in its true wood furniture form, then there's an option there. Also, the plastic one will actually make it lighter as well, so you can reduce that weight even further by using that, and it looks cooler, so there's that. Anyways, that's one automatic rifle, a sniper status version. There's a couple of uniques. Let's go and grab them, and then we can figure out where exactly we need to make our bars to suit which combat applications. We'll try to make one for everything. The first unique you'll find is right here at the South Boston military checkpoint. There's some gunners around. Some of these gunners have settler voices, because for some reason the Creation Club gives them that. But I think I've already done that quest that gives me the... No, you know what? You can deal with that giant behemoth. I'm going over here. You'll find your bar, your Colt monitor, inside this. So bring expert terminal hacking thing and then open this door. And once that's open, just like reach as far as you can and grab green meanie. There it is. It's kind of a context-sensitive thing there, considering I'm being chased by 20-foot tall green meanies. I'm gonna go over here now. Actually, this guy, I'll blow him up. Maybe. There he goes. Alright, next one. The next unique can be found in the Shamrock Tap House, which is here. There's also a way around the back to get this thing, but that requires a key. So if you don't have the key on you, just go through the front door and follow me. There's going to be a lot of raiders around, but they're small fish. They're not going to be any problem to the mighty Colt monitor, the automatic rifle as it were. But keep going around here, you'll find this basement. You've got that robot down there. You can send him to your settlement and he'll make your beers nice and cold. There's a drinking buddy password. I don't think that's relevant here. There's also mole rats, but you find bootlegger. It's got a bootlegger. It also cripples the target's leg. It's also got some charms on the front. If you don't have the key already, you can find one just here, and there's a neat little back door you can use to get yourself out of here if you don't want to double back. And if you don't want to deal with mole rats, you can just end the recording and kill them with console commands. Next unique you find will be right here in the glowing sea, and pay attention because this is actually off the grid. This is an unmarked location, but there's a couple of things we can do to help yourself find this place. First of all, you'll see at the front here, we've got this gigantic super duper mart sign, and if you look over there, there's the Hope Smarts Pentecostal Church that I was pointing at earlier. So go to the church. If you need, go up to the spire, find this over the horizon. You're in the right place. Now, there's two entries into this place. You've got the elevator up top here, which that's your way out. So you don't want to go in there, otherwise you'll be trapped down in the bottom with a death claw. But if you go through here, you can go through this place in the dev's intended order. So once inside, you'll find that the elevator place is blocked off by this massive truck and trailer. And if you want to go around, you have to loop underneath. And there's a gigantic hole for you to slip through here, through the back of this bus. If you do go down there, bring your togs because you'll be knee-deep in water. So, but we don't have to go down there at all. We can actually leave out the front door. So as you come around here, you'll find there's a bunch of ghouls. If they spring up to life at you, just put them down with a few bullets and there'll be no problem whatsoever. But what you want to do is find this particular cage here. As a master lock, you gotta, bring the necessary skill or followers to actually get that open. But should you be able to do that,
Hell yeah.
you'll get Greased Lightning, fast movement speed whilst aiming. It's got a short barrel, standard receiver. We're gonna make this one fire as fast as possible with the short barrel, and I think the extra nimble legendary effect will actually help that work pretty well. So we'll take these back to workbench, spruce them up, and get them fit for any intended purpose that I feel like it, and then we shall get started. And shut up, I fixed the model, don't worry. Welcome back to the Immersive Gunners Plaza. Here is our automatic rifle in first person. You've already seen this one a little bit, but there's the bash animation that's got War Daddy painted all over it, I think, with that punch. Anyways, whilst we aim down sights and we try to hit that car, if I fire this thing pretty slow, I can control that recoil, but if I hold the trigger down, that's going to get away from me pretty quickly. So in order to snipe with this thing effectively, I'm going to have to just tap on the trigger and either let the weapon reset itself, or if I want to fire a little bit faster, pull down a little bit. But, that crosshair was sort of going everywhere. So we have to control our urges to hold the trigger down a little bit whilst using the sniper status version. But here's Bootlegger. This one, again, is the kneecapper version, complete with the glitchy, tapey stock. Stock? No, that's a magazine, idiot. And this one's got the reflex sight and a suppressor setup with the powerful receiver. It is one of those few mods where it doesn't make the suppressor the easiest thing to use, because even with the suppressor attached, there's a lot of recoil on this thing. But if you have something like a gigantic compensator, like you see right here on Green Meanie, complete with glowing sights there, that is so much more controllable. The compensator with the recoil compensating stock, there's barely any recoil to speak of. The camera's not moving at all, so there's something to consider. I don't mind it, actually, not having an easiest muzzle slot to pick from just because of extra damage and stealth capabilities. That's really cool. Lastly, we've got Greased Lightning. This one was the nimble one that you saw just before, so that kicks in. You can strafe nice and fast whilst using it. That's good for keeping on the move whilst aiming down sights. This thing has a muzzle booster and a rapid fire receiver on it, so the recoil is like this. In close quarters, it probably won't matter that much, but without using this thing in close quarters, I think we might struggle a bit. Even 3-round bursts, we're pointing to the moon on our third shot, so we'll have to keep a little bit of a watch on that. But without further ado, let us begin. We'll use this thing, sniper status, for as much as possible, and I think we'll get started utilizing the VAF slowdown perk here, because, well, as you can tell, we're not super efficient on our VATS AP, so if we can get some easy, cheap shots to start off with, then I'd say that's a pretty good thing. So far, so good. We'll take out those turrets because they're easy targets. And as they come closer, we'll probably start to get a lot better damage on them. But yeah, like, we're getting 500 damage headshots from all the way back here. 800 damage if we get a little bit of gun fill action happening. That's 1300. Should be a crit this next one. Instant kill. We'll try to target some headshots here just for those instant kills. Don't know why I didn't get that kill there. Probably a little bit too far out. As they come over that little that barricade there, they'll be in the sweet spot. And there's a joke. It goes something like, so a gunner platoon walks into a bar. You're seeing the punchline right now. And let me tell you, it is no laughing matter, at least for them. We're going to be laughing from here all the way to Swan. But so far, so very, very good indeed. Sniper status version exceeding all expectations, and we're barely tapping the trigger at all. Let's go to something a little bit more close range. That's not an XCOM enemy unknown reference either. We'll take out that turret because the suppressing fire was making my screen go blurry, my spread go whoop whoop. Now, whilst we're using this version here, if we aren't using this thing in VATS, we're going to have to be very, very close in order to make this thing fire in first person. But if we want to use this thing in VATS, well, it is a particularly potent weapon, utilizing all of the sneak criticals and also VATS critical perks, don't you think? better criticals, like giving you proper damage modifiers. These were the days. But I think that it's time to come out to the classic automatic rifle. This one's straight from the Sierra Madre, except not really. Should be slightly better on AP with this thing. Yeah, it's alright. Muscle memory, not quite as it should be, but I'm sure we'll get used to this thing as we're firing. So comfortable. I don't feel like my shoulder's gonna dislocate. Well, Phoebe's shoulder, not mine, but you get the idea. This thing's barely fighting me at all. It looks like we've got some extra fighters here, which, you know, they could be useful as a distraction. Take this. Punched a robot. But, oh, did I bypass the reload as well? That was weird. I could have sworn I emptied the magazine while doing that. Anyways. So, yeah, using this thing, it's like a comfort food. You just sit down, kick your legs up, and this thing will just nurse you all the way home. But there's pros and cons to this. Obviously, there's a little bit of inferred recoil with the animation, but if I'm not fighting with this thing, am I really firing the 30-06 rounds? I think it is time for Grease Lightning, baby. So we'll get this thing out and go right close. Okay, that's not as effective as I thought it'd be. Perhaps if I was using it with the true damage mod, I would have gotten shredded standing that close to enemy gunners anyway, but that's good. Ooh, got hit with the flamethrower. Don't worry, we're fireproof. Make use out of that nimble legendary effect, which is fun to use in third person, because you can do your exit aiming down sights really fast for about a second before the game realizes. So I'm thinking this one will be slightly more efficient in VATS with its shorter barrel, less weight, and reflex sight, but it's pretty average. This thing, obviously not the best on AP, but since it hits so hard, if you can get those shots to hit, then you're going to be laughing. And even back here, doing all of that just from a shorter barrel version. So we're definitely feeling like an endgame weapon here. There's no doubts about that, that's for sure. No use screaming at me. Alright, I think it's good we go back to our suppressed version here. Maybe a scope is too much, but perhaps a little bit of hipfire. And even if you do use a scope version, at this range, like the hipfire is good enough anyway to utilize it in a way where I can use the scope for, well, when they're too far away. But as you can tell, it's precise enough in hipfire to not have to rely on it, or you can rely on it if you want to use it in close quarters, even with this gigantic TV scope on it. So isn't that nice? Now I should have saved the joke. 3 gunners walk into a bar. Too late now. They're twins! Not that one though. That one was different. How dare you shoot a grenade at me like that? Alright, well they're done. And yep, I think we rolled Gunner's Plaza there. Overpowered? No, definitely not. If it was overpowered, it'd have 0 recoil with the suppressor, then we'd just be breezing through it. But you gotta have a specialized setup for all of the recoil reduction. One thing I will say is, although it works with classic holstered weapons, I think it could be a little bit higher up on the shoulder there, but I think it works for what it is. At least you won't get caught on something if you try to duck under something. There's goats over there. Giant bighorners. I didn't know they were friends with the stags. Oh, that's kind of cute. Anyways, let's go and fight some giant monsters now. Now, I'm thinking if there was going to be any target that I'm going to full auto from long range, it's going to be the Swan. But first, we'll get him out of the way and get ourselves a nice little position over here. I might be able to utilize a little bit of gun fill action to get this to crit. I don't think that worked. I think I need to actually kill things for the slow motion VATS gun through to work. So let's get that going again. There we go. There's one. And now we full auto him. And then we use this time in VATS to reload. Rinse and repeat. 1,000 damage. So in specific cases like this, you'll find that the recoil not that much of a problem. not that much of a problem at all. Since he's so large, you're not going to be missing anything anyway, so... anyways, if you were fighting a normal behemoth, that would have been over in about probably like half a magazine, but... yeah, this thing can really deal out the power if you've got a target big enough to make sure you can hit it every time. Or if you've got a very specialized VATS build, if you want to run like 5 bits, maybe even 6 bits of VATS enhanced, then, well, you're going to be laughing, especially when you've got the speedy VATS mods installed like I do. Okay, this time I probably won't set on having him killed, or the monster killed in like 2 seconds, but we'll see how we go. Oh, the mysterious stranger showed up. That's good, but now he's aggroed to him. That's what you get for ruining my sneak criticals. Alright, looks like a couple of dudes are gonna show up. I could probably get some gunfill action happening here. Go for those headshots. 404, damage not found. And now is the time to utilize something that staggers. Let's go over to Green Meanie. Stagger, damn it. I said stagger. Oh, right. There's, yeah, there's massive stagger penalties for automatic weapons. Not that it really matters. He activated the trap card and hit him for 1300 damage a few times. Yeah, that usually drops him. Well, I think that worked. I think that's the second video in a row that we've got that guy to put me into nerd rage and just flatten him with Destroyer of Acadia. Alright, so the final task of the day will be to try to take out this pack of giant bears of varying sizes. Now, to get this fight started off properly, what I will do is we'll target the big guy. We've only got a few shots with this thing, so we'll make him count in the form of many criticals. Yes, take that. And whilst they're all in disarray as they're running at me, okay, we've managed to get at least one there, but here's what we're going to do. We're going to try and take out the little ones first. That one's not actually a threat, and they're all jumping over each other to actually get me. I'm being mauled here. Alright. We'll take this one bear at a time, and we'll cancel those staggers because I'm cheap like that. That one's weaker. It's only an albino bear. That's nice. That one over there is almost dead. Most of these guys are pretty beat up. That one's barely moving at all, so take him out. There we go. There goes another bear. We can sprint here. Take out that one. Alright. Now it's time for the mighty bear to fall. The big boy. And before we get too staggered there, we'll try to dodge that, which I think we've done successfully. And nope. And I suppose what we could do is just coast him behind this ute the entire fight. This blue ute of life. No. I will not allow it. Actually, we've got all of these criticals. May as well use them as I clunkily reload there. We'll spam that crit button. That's worked out pretty well for me. And he immediately gets dunked on by the bear. I feel like we're firing in third person a little bit faster than what we would normally, so that's good. But I need the third person so I can judge where I'm dodging properly. And we're gonna finish this fight off with Grease Lightning as he's perpetually forgets what direction to go. Although I may have just left the door a little bit open for him there. I think he's having trouble pathing around this. This is like... Alright, there's always a Terramorphous spot when it comes to these enemies, and that's not really your fault. You're just kind of a Fallout AI. And the pathing... Ooh, he actually got me there. The pathing there is like, I don't know. We haven't really gotten any better from pathing from those old school 2D Bethesda games. What was it called? Like Daggerfall or something? We're still running on that kind of tech. And, ooh, was that Nerd Rage? It is as well. Well, may as well make the most of it. Grease Lightning. Oh, Grease Lightning. Faster reload. Alright. You could argue that I've been using Nerd Rage as a crutch there, but capitalizing on those moments this thing was able to do in spades, and I've just loaded a critical for no reason. I think the next thing I shoot will be a critical, so we may as well make some use of it before the video is done. There's usually raiders around here. Yep, there he is. I don't think that was a critical. I think it just ate it for no reason. Anyways, I think you get the idea. So that was the automatic rifle. There hasn't been a weapon mod in recent memory that has just been executed so perfectly as this mod. That's all I can say about that. They've set out to make the bar a Colt monitor. It's different, I guess, but it's the same gun pretty much. It looks like it, just with the thing. But it's a brilliantly made weapon mod, and it does exactly what it sets out to do. The weapon has good feel. It's got a lot of recoil unless you want to tame it with specific parts. It feels balanced. It's not going to feel overpowered, but if you use it in a specific way, it's going to give you all the power you could ever need. Like, it's perfect. They've set out to do something, and they've done it so perfectly that I'm lost for words to describe how good this mod is. So just download it. Just download it right now. Find a spot for it on your mod list. I don't care if you have to delete 5 of the mods to get this. Just download this mod. It's perfect. It's the best mod ever. Really good. So do it. Do you need any more recommendations? It's really good. Nitpicks? Anything that I can say that is to this mod's detriment? Not really at all. I think it's really well balanced. It looks good. It feels good. It sounds good. I mean, you could argue that utilizing vanilla game suppressed sounds is a little bit cheap, but I think it fits for what it is because it's making the same sound as you would have. Hang on a second. Yeah, that's the same sound as a hunting rifle 308 suppressed, so that's fine. That's okay with me, but like, there's very little room to grow here. They've done pretty much basically as good as they possibly can, so go and download it already. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Link will be in the description. Go get it.